To all of our live webcast attendees around the world, and also those of you who will be watching this later on the replay or later on our YouTube channel. I'm Doug Kennedy with Kennedy Training Network, coming to you from our headquarters here in the south of Atlanta area, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, for our international visitors. Welcome to our monthly training webcast. A lot of you are just joining us this month, so a little bit about our webcast series. We do one every month. It is a live training webcast, not so much in the podcast mode where, a lot of great podcasts out there are more interview type formats, but we actually come on and give you either an excerpt from one of our existing on-site training programs, conference presentations that I do, or we create brand new content that is always debuted here first. We could not do this program without our sponsors, Track, which is a fantastic PMS system for vacation rentals, also for condo hotels, and soon to be for hotels as well. They offer the Pulse system, which is a call and lead tracking specific to reservations. So check them out. Travel Outlook, the premier call center in the hotel space. So a lot of you signed up, referred from them. We're proud to say they've been a client of ours since 2012. We have a new sponsor. We're super excited to help us out with this particular webcast this month, which is the Matrix by M1 Intel. Raj, thank you for joining us. I think you are joining us live. I saw you on our list, and we know that we are very excited to help get the word out on Matrix. It is not only a great hotel sales CRM, but what I really love about it is you can network leads within your sister properties rather than having to go through your brand. So if you are part of a management company today, and I would encourage you to check them out in particular. So as always, we start by doing shout outs here as we're waiting for our other participants that will join us live to come on. It's also my chance to kind of get in the headspace of the diversity of participants that we get around the world, which makes it exciting when I'm sitting here alone in an office with a tiny little webcam to present to. So first of all, we're super excited. We have probably a lot of management companies here, but I'm going to shout out about 6 of you. Vineyards Hotel Management, Connie, we have VP. We have a VP of sales here joining us. Thank you for carving out time. My Place Hotels, there must have been 8 or 10 of you, mostly GMs. Thank you. It looks like an excellent extended stay brand. Atrium Hotels, Julie, we love seeing you here. Valencia Hotel Group, another VP, Wendy. Brick Hospitality, which is a company I wasn't familiar with, Inari, and we have Orm Hotels. Leslie, we appreciate you signing up today. International attendees, we have Playa Los Arcos, Ramon, and we also have our client, Nizuk Resort, Magdalena, back again, Roberto. Nizuk is a beautiful 5-star resort in Cancun area. We have Ultimate Vacations, Ryan, joining us, as well as several of your locations. I had a great time presenting the sales training for your team remotely, privately in September. And I think I already shouted out Frank and Crya Hotels, maybe not actually, which is also part ownership by Raj, our sponsor today. And Crya, we appreciate you being a client. We're glad to see you turned out a lot of your hotel salespeople for today's webcast. Speaking of clients, Schuler Hotels, Amy, I have not seen you for a while. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. We'd love to do this for your other hotels. And then of course, Sun Realty, you're always showing up for us. Internationally, we have Playa Los Arcos, already mentioned. Oasis from Istanbul, Pakistan. Thank you. I hope, let's see, you're either attending in the middle of the night or watching later. And Mohammed from Istanbul. Now, noteworthy hotels, Hershey Resorts, which has been a client, but not since about 2017. And Isaac, we appreciate you turning out. If you like what we do, share our information with your colleagues. Mountain Lodge, a Telluride, Sam, and then the Evangeline Hotel, which looked very interesting. We have Ronette joining us from Louisiana, and so many others, but we don't have time for everybody. But again, we welcome all of you. We do these every month. You can attend live, and also everyone who registers receives the link to replay. So please help us get the word out. We rotate topics every month between hospitality, a guest service, transient sales, and then hotel group and event sales. I think I also forgot to shout out Majestic Resorts. Evelyn, we hope to be working with you and your team again. Evelyn and Cecilia with us here today down in Dominican Republic. So let's get to it and talk about 5 crucial things that every hotel group or event salesperson should do with every inbound lead. So as always, we're going to start out by kind of positioning why this topic is important and why it's relevant enough for you to carve out time for about 45 minutes to watch my content. The theme today is tenacious, personalized follow-up. And that is how we stand out in a world increasingly governed by tech, okay? So tech is really, really important, but as we're gonna look at today, we wanna put our arms around that technology, give it a big hug, and make it work for us, not relying on it to do our jobs more and more every year, like some other people in this industry think is the way to go. So first, I did some research. I reached out to a lot of industry experts to tell us where the economy is going. If you're watching this live, you know we have now a war going on in the world. Well, there's a lot of wars going on in the world. Unfortunately, a shout out to my friends in Ukraine, but now more recently, the Middle East war erupting. We already had an economy in the United States which was stagnant. I know around the world you're dealing with the same thing. So I reached out to international experts. Here are their predictions for what they see happening. Yeah, kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Nobody knows. We hope things calm down and we get some upward growth. Maybe in the United States, interest rates go down, development starts happening again. We don't know what's coming next. You know, look where we were 6 years ago with the pandemic. There could be a sudden decline. More likely, if we're really lucky, best case scenario for the rest of 2026 is another flat year, kind of like 2025 was. So one thing is for sure, if you want any revenue gains this year, put on your boxing gloves and go out there and fight for it every single day. And that's what we have to do to get ahead. Now, why tenacious, personalized follow-up? This is going to be the key. This has always been the key, but especially in today's world, this is the key to help you outsell all of your competitors. We have everything today from ultra luxury hotels and 5-star hotels. Shout out to those of you joining us up in Wisconsin, and Nizuk and many others. We have economy lodging today. We have some choice properties in between. We have extended stay, but you all have one thing in common. Nobody is alone. You all have competitors. So how are we going to outsell the competition? We know within certain market segments, hotel types, brands are very, very similar. So extended stay is comparable to other extended stay brands. Upscale brands are comparable to other upscale brands. Luxury brands are comparable to other luxury brands. Chances are around the street, across the street, or around the corner, down the road, the next exit down on the interstate, or the next island over in the Caribbean, you've got somebody that looks an awful lot like you. Chances are with today's revenue management technology, the pricing is the same. And with the design mindsets that are out there, we tend to copycat others in the same space. If you're in the luxury vacation home business, you know, many of you, shout out to you, Tilly, thank you for joining us. You have similar design elements as those of you in similar spaces. So one thing is for sure, if y'all want to get the same business that everyone else gets, do the same things that everyone else does. And if you do that, you will get market share. Are you happy with your market share? We have a couple of asset managers from lending institutions that finance hotels on this webcast today. Are you happy? Now, if you're the owner of those hotels or the asset manager, is the owner happy with market share? I don't think so. So if we're going to get more business in a, at best, flat, stable market, we're going to have to put on our boxing gloves. We are going to have to earn it. Now let's switch gears. Let's look at the other side of the table. Let's look not just from the seller's side, but let's take a look from the buyer's side. Why tenacious, personalized follow-up how does that benefit our buyers? You know, being a buyer today is not a very easy thing. There's a lot of friction for those buyers who are suffering. You may have heard of FOMO. I learned something new thanks to Kate from our team, FOBO, fear of a better offer. So when people are searching and looking, they're always thinking, is this the best deal? Not only is this the best price, which is important, but is this the best value, the best experience for our traveling attendees that are going to need regular extended stays, from our local corporate business in the Dallas, Fort Worth area that have other options. There's always this fear of the better offer out there. And when we are personalized and tenacious in our follow-up, we're going to make stronger connections with buyers, okay? Now, why else is it challenging to be a buyer today and a seller in the hotel space? You know, with a few clicks at a website, an RFP can submit it to dozens or more properties. Years ago, when I worked in hotel sales, many years ago, more recently, 2010, 2015, most of our leads and sales still came in by phone. People would look up phone numbers, originally in a phone book back in my day of selling. More recently in 2010, maybe they go online and they would still place a call, or they would send an email which resulted in a phone call. But in today's world, we have increasing automation and it's not over yet. Do you think disruption is done disrupting? I don't think so. With a few clicks at an aggregate website platform, an RFP is submitted to dozens of properties. As we talked about in every webcast I've done for hotel group sales, event sales, booking.com, I'm sorry, Groups3, sorry, completely wrong call out there. Groups 360 is becoming the booking.com though of the meeting and event space. And so brands are investing in this, Marriott, Accor, Hilton, IHG, all the big ones, and many of the ownership groups. And if you look right here, it says group hotel bookings without the chaos. Why overpay? Get 60% off, risk-free. Look, you even see Omni up here, a great hotel chain for groups and events. Enter here and you can book it yourself, self-service. Now with the bigger groups and events, more complex, you can do your RFP through these sites. We also have Hotel Planner. Now, when I mention that, a lot of people roll their eyes because a lot of the leads that have over the years come from Hotel Planner have not been that qualified. However, now things are changing. Hotel Planner is upping their games. They had over 1 million groups booked, at least they claim on their site there. We have a new one to me. Maybe it's not new to you, but when I researched my last sales webcast a few months ago, I didn't see this one, but it sure came up now. Engine, the easiest way to book hotels for conferences and events. So what does all this tell me? You know, if we're not careful, we're going to be automated out of a job. And I want you to have your job selling hotels and events. And I want to have you have your job so I can have my job training people how to do your job. But joking aside, I really believe it is the best way to represent your hotel is to be out there in all the tech platforms, but to put the human element in it. And this is the blend of using technology to reach, but then using technology to touch, okay? And then we also have, if you're in the wedding space, you certainly know about the knot and wedding wire. So a lot of people use these for weddings, but also for reunions, for anniversaries, vow renewals, quinceañeras, bar mitzvahs. There's a lot of sites out there for planning. These are just a few. So what does all this result in? We're flooding the inbox of the sellers with notifications, leads, and reminders. And we're flooding the buyers with copy and paste generic proposals. Both ends are getting frustrated. And so, whereas years ago, one originator of a piece of business, a planner or a buyer, would pick up the phone and call 3 places, or in 2010, 2015, go online and send several direct emails. Today, they go to these platforms, click, and out goes an RFP. Now, if you're a smart hotel leader on the C-suite side, or even at the larger organization, hotel that might have quite a few salespeople, and if you're a smart hotel person, you think about measuring conversion. Look back, how many leads do we get? How many bookings do we get? We traditionally do this for our call center clients, okay? But we should think about this in hotel sales. Now, we know not every lead is qualified, right? We know some people just send a lead and they click and we're included on that list, and they don't even fit we don't have enough meeting space. We don't even have enough rooms, but it still tells us what's going on in the sales team, the sales department. And it's certainly not anyone's fault if the conversion is low, but it's a reality. We have more and more leads to chase, which is frustrating for us. And the buyers have more proposals to look at, which is frustrating for them. So our final reason why tenacious, why personalized follow-up is the best way to boost your career. And if you successfully embrace the concepts that I believe in, I am certain your career will continue to soar. Change is not being done being done. But one thing is for sure, there will always be a human element in hospitality sales. So we cannot out-tech the competition, but we can out-people them. People are your sales superstars. And the salespeople that take the easy way out and use technology to automate their responses will eventually find themselves being replaced by AI and chatbots. But those of you who engage with customers, who reach out, make phone calls, have Teams meetings, use Calendly, all the things we're going to talk about today, send video emails, old school handwritten notes, you find ways to prospect. Prospecting is not a topic for today's webcast, but it is part of our on-site training. It is also on our YouTube channel from a previous KTN webcast on prospecting. Prospecting is going to be a long time before that one's automated by chatbots and AI alone. And so, what might the future look like in hotel sales? We are at a point that is a fork in the road, and I believe the industry, especially if you read publications like the ones I write for several every month, if you read them, the tech companies are coming for us. You go to High Tech this summer in June, I'll be there. You in San Antonio, you read Hotel-Online, Hospitality Net, automated self-service process backed by not professional salespeople, but instead sales administrators who simply manage and detail groups that are booked, increasingly outsourced or centralized, or will sales swing back to being a people business? You see here, one little person headed this direction. That's the smart person in the room, okay, that is understanding. And by the way, those are the ones that have signed up today. Thank you. The people that need to be here are probably not on this webcast, but I believe we're diverging here, and the answer is yes to both. Some hotels will become more automated, others will continue to focus on the people process. So let's now round the corner to our core content. I love to talk about the whys. I think the whys are a big part of every webcast that I do, but now we get into the specific hows. Number one of 5 crucial things: organize your sales flow so you can follow up in a way that is tenacious and personalized. I spent the first 10 minutes or so talking about what's going on in our industry today, because I think we have a huge challenge. Our conversion of inbound leads is lower than it's ever been. And if you're one of the companies that is measuring that, you'll see that it has been declining over time. We're now, for 10 leads before, we might have got 3 or 4 bookings. 10 leads today, maybe you get 1 booking. Maybe it takes you 20 inbound leads. Now I'm talking about all the leads that come in, not just the qualified ones. And again, this is no one's fault. This is a factor of buyers being able to push out their request for proposal to a larger audience. So how do we organize our sales flow when we have so many leads? First of all, we have to give up the paper trail. Does this look like anyone's desks? Okay, Now, I am a huge fan of Post-it notes of all sizes. When I'm on calls, when I'm going fast, I do put things in Post-it notes, but at the end of the day, it goes into my CRM, okay? Because if not, what I see happening, now I do sales process assessments for some of our clients where I go in and sit with one salesperson at a time, looking at how they manage their flow of leads all the way through, and looking at what do you do when the lead comes in, how do you track it, how do you follow up, what do you actually send when you follow up. And what I see, the majority of us out there are working in a, at best, hybrid world of printed inquiry forms, Post-it notes, maybe your trusty calendar book, which I have a calendar book too. The really important stuff goes in there, but they're not embracing the CRM. If you don't embrace your CRM, this may be you in the middle of the night. How many of you around 2 in the morning wake up and go, ah, did I send that proposal? Did I send that email? I know what happens to me sometimes. I have a little trick. I just text or email myself. I used to keep a notepad by the bed. But if you want this to happen less, put your arms around your CRM and give it a great big hug. Fully master your CRM. Now, the problem we have today, most salespeople that I know, when I talk to the actual salespeople, they literally hate their CRM because, well, I'm going to talk about why that is in just a moment. But first, let me tell you about a great CRM that I'm super, super impressed with to this point, where we asked them to sponsor our webcast today. And again, that's Matrix by M1 Intel. And I do apologize, Raj, the logo is really hard to read here. I tried to make some adjustments, but with my color white balance here. But I promise you that says Matrix by M1 Intel. And you'll also see it on our sponsorship page. This is a CRM built by hoteliers for hoteliers, built by a hotel management company for hotel management companies as well. So whether you're an individual hotel, but especially if you're a management company with multiple brand management companies, even more, because now your sister hotels can share leads and share information. Now, the rest of the CRMs out there, I don't want to disrespect any, because whatever one you have, you want to use it to the best extent possible. So I am, as a trainer, agnostic to whatever sales CRM a client has, because whichever one they have, that's the one you have to make work for you. And so you have a huge volume of leads. Using a CRM is the only way that you're going to master that tenacious and personalized follow-up that we need today. And so with so many leads out there, the only way we can, first of all, keep up by responding and then do those follow-up action steps we're going to cover is through embracing your CRM. Now, a lot of people have Delphi. Delphi originally was New Market Software out of New Hampshire. They then got acquired and now is part of the Amadeus. I know they have done their best to keep up. They now have the Delphi FTC, which is powered by Salesforce. And I see a lot of people not fully using Delphi. Unfortunately, most of my clients that I do the sales assessment for, they only use Delphi to manage the inventory of accommodations and meeting space. So if you have Delphi, it may be more complex. It may at times appear wonky, but it will do what you need it to do if you make it work for you. And I'll give you a few tips on that in a minute. Some of you may even have this system or have another system, but you're still in the world of Sheets or Excel, okay? You can make that work as well. I do recommend thinking about a cloud-based system. And of course, there's Salesforce, HubSpot, and then Zoho, which powers our sales effort here at KTN. I literally live in the world of Zoho. Whenever I'm not doing sales training or selling sales training, delivering sales training, developing sales training, I'm selling sales training or hospitality training. So I live in the process that I'm going to share with you today is how I have built 3 companies I've either owned or co-owned over 35 years of being in the hospitality training space, okay? So embrace your CRM, all right? Now, one of the reasons people hate Delphi is it has auto alerts that come on. And I will talk about today living in the world of your lead stream, your to-do list, your whatever you call it. I think most people call it a lead stream today. When I sit with salespeople, they're like, I don't like to ever open that page, Doug. Well, why? Because all those alerts and all the red lines that go through. What happens is when you turn a piece of business definite, it triggers auto tasks. So you have all those auto tasks popping up. So go back to your network manager, the person that set it up with Salesforce. This is really not Salesforce or Delphi's fault. It's a matter that we need to turn off the alerts that are not relevant to us. Also, turn a piece of business definite. If they don't have any function space, turn off all the alerts that have follow-ups relating to that immediately when you turn it definite. Or just complete, show the auto tasks as being completed as you move through your day. So we have to make sure we don't get stressed out when we look at our task list. Keep your lead stream clean. I live every day by a lead stream. I just had a situation. I was out unexpectedly for 4 days, 4 work days for a family emergency. I came back, I had 2 days before I left for a 9-day business trip. I returned on Monday, my flight was late. So I finally got to work here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I must have had 60 leads I was working. And I made sure by now, which is Friday, my lead stream is caught up, because that's how I roll. And I hope that's how you roll too, is to be dedicated to a clean lead stream. Now, we want to make sure we enter all right-sized leads into your CRM. In the world of Hotel Planner and Wedding Wire and the Nod and Cvent and all these other sites, we have a lot of leads that may come in that have nothing to do with, that really are just not a good fit for our property. So they're looking for a rate that is excessively low or high. They're looking for meeting space we don't have. Now, I'm not talking about availability. I'm talking about they just would never fit even if our hotel was empty. Don't enter them. But anything that is a right size fit, enter it into your CRM, even if you immediately turn it down. So what this does 2 things, and it allows for more accurate demand. We had a VP of Sales, Marketing, and Revenue with us today on my list. Excuse me. I'm sure you will appreciate that you want to track demand when you look at rates at budget time for next year. If you knew there was more group demand that was turned down due to availability, this is a factor that impacts our revenue decisions. Secondly, it enables you to retrace the lead that was either lost to another competitor or denied due to availability, and you can track them for future prospecting needs. So we can go back after that business next year. Also, it allows you with the matrix, allows you to network leads within your sister hotel. So even if you turned it down, the contact will be in there, and maybe somebody else will want to prospect to that company, either for the same piece of business or for cross-marketing for other pieces of business. So everything should go into your CRM. Then continuously embrace the next step. Enter the notes every time you talk with them. Enter key comments from email exchanges or attach a copy. Or if you're using the right CRM, you can actually email through that CRM, okay? And I don't want to play favorites here. Okay, Matrix is our sponsor, thank you, but it makes it easy for you to do that. Some of the other systems, for example, Zoho does allow me to email, and our team here, through Zoho, but the email management is not very good. It's nothing like Outlook. So we live in the world of Outlook. We make a note in our CRM that we send to key email. If it's important enough, I print the email as a PDF and attach it to the client record, okay? And then always, always, always retrace the next step, because there's always the next step. Unless it's a one-time occurring piece of business, a wedding, let's hope they don't ever have to have another wedding. But anything, almost everything else is a recurring piece of business. And if it's not recurring, we can reach out for follow-up. So if you don't log it, you didn't do it. I saw somebody from Invigorate Hospitality, which is an excellent third-party hotel sales outsourcing company that for leaders and management companies that can't find the local talent, or they have somebody going out on mat leave or pat leave, you can use Invigorate. And this quote I attribute to my friend that works at Invigorate Hospitality. If you don't log it, you didn't do it. Okay, leaders, you should have that as a standard. Number 2, sort and prioritize the hottest leads, but remember, every lead is worthy of a personalized response. So what ends up happening when I do a sales assessment, I look at all the leads that came in. I usually go back 4 weeks and I look at all the leads come in and I see what follow-up people did. What I find is people prioritize leads, they cherry pick, and they follow up with those leads. Okay, now I get it, I understand we only have so many hours in the day, but we as an organization, a hotel, a management company, you should follow up with every single lead. Now, if you're a salesperson, you don't want your top salesperson going out chasing weak leads that have, what is a weak lead? A lead that comes in, there's very little information. There's no comments, there's no details. It's coming from a Gmail address. We don't even know what the company or organization is, okay? Or those wedding wire leads that says, the not leads that says, I need pricing for a wedding for these dates. There's no number of attendees. There's none of the other fields filled in. That would be an example of a weak lead, okay? But I still think someone should follow up with them, okay? Maybe not you, but I want you to think about how much your hotel or company is spending to make that lead arrive. The huge investment, website development and hosting. Yeah, that doesn't always get targeted back, but just the actual cost of maintaining a website these days, organic and paid search, it costs a lot of money to keep up on your organic search, especially now as we have to update all of our websites to be found by searches by Anthropic, ChatGPT, Google Gemini. Fortunately, we're very lucky to have done that at KTN. A lot of people now are searching through extensive prompts through an AI-powered search. So paid search is still driving most of the hotel business, where you're doing pay-per-clicks. I don't even want to imagine what it costs a hotel. I know for the word hotel sales training, we pay $5 a month is our bid for that word, $5 a click rather. Email campaigns. We use MailChimp. You may use any number of different systems specific to larger corporations. You might use HubSpot or one of the other ones. Our MailChimp is hundreds of dollars every month. We spend a lot of time creating email campaigns. Social media costs, we do LinkedIn ads, you may do Facebook ads, you may do retargeting on social media, paid listings on meeting and event sites. Unless you're using that free one, nobody notices. You're paying for a listing on the Knot, Wedding Wire, Cvent, all the other sites, and it's generating leads. Maybe someone's just lazy. They put in their Gmail address, they didn't fill out the comments. That is a lead. So leaders, add up the total cost here annually, divided by the total number of leads we get, you'll see the cost per lead is a huge amount. Now, how do we follow up? Again, we don't want our top salesperson chasing weak leads when there's bigger fish out there biting, right? But are there other staff that can serve in these roles? To reach out personally to each person that sends an email inquiry and say, hey, it was nice to hear from you. Well, we'd like to get a few more details, okay? Sometimes you pull that thread out of the fabric and it unravels and it is a long stream for you, okay? Number 3, personalize the reply and contextualize the wording of the proposal or whatever response you're sending. Maybe you're just uploading your bid into a platform, depending on what segment it is. Maybe you're emailing or uploading a PDF. Maybe you're sending an e-proposal, but make sure it is personalized. Now, not everybody agrees with me. Probably a lot of the people that did not sign up for this But I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot live with only automated responses to RFPs unless you're happy with market share. But this is where the tech companies are going. This is where a lot of the hotel consultants are leading us. And there's this urban legend that the only proposal that will ever be purchased is the first 3 responses, okay? But I'm here to tell you today, I believe strongly it is better to be best than to be first. Because today, with all the automation that is out there, more and more people, more and more hotels, as soon as you inquire, boom, you get a reply. But it is generic and it is automated. So you might get 3 or 4 hits right away. It's kind of like if you ever went to Angie's List to put in for a project, or you go to some of the other sites that you go, you ever made the mistake of putting in that, oh, get rates for car insurance right away, click. I'm still getting calls from 5, 6 years ago in my son's name, when at the time he was a very young adult and he was moving to another state. He had to get on his own auto insurance. Well, first of all, well, I'm still getting calls every day, but first of all, when you inquire at Angie's or these insurance sites, you immediately are flooded with generic information, okay? And that's not going to help you get more deals, especially when everyone else is doing it. Now, I love the Mogolinsky column that they do, Larry and Adam Mogolansky. I enjoy their readings every year, but I am going to debate them on this one. Prioritize speed for hotel lead nurturing. These are some of the top consultants in the business. They're very smart. Shout out to you, Larry and Adam, but I'm going to disagree with you on this one. This is an article from this month. Prioritize speed for hotel lead nurturing 2026. I believe this article seems to me, in my opinion, to be advocating for the automated response RFP drip campaigns, okay? Now, here's what I disagree. Instead of intentionally tweaking a response to round it out with 100% of the required information, it's better to deliver a message that is 80% complete and to ask follow-up questions for the communications for the remaining 20. As a buyer, if I get something that is incomplete response to my proposal, that is going to go to the side. Let me give you a practical example. I recently had the chance to speak as a guest speaker. I was actually the guest trainer for 1.5-day sales summit by a transportation company in the travel industry. It was actually a charter bus association. Okay, a lot of you in the hotel space work with them. And I was with the actual meeting planner who had brought me in, planned this big event. It was at a large Marriott hotel in Dallas. And I was with him at one of the breaks that he got on he had put an RFP out recently for another event that he's planning later this year. And he opened an email and he said, I can tell right away this email was written by AI. Now he's already a buyer that has found the way. He said, look here, and he actually showed me the patterns of the words that and the style of writing from an AI response. And what I got from him is that was disrespectful to the thoughtful time, the intentional information he put in his request for proposal, and it comes back with generic. I have seen this in the wedding business. We had one client, I was looking at their sales process assessment. They got a lead. It was for a very high-end wedding well into the 6 figures. And it clearly said it was from a professional meeting planner. Professional wedding planner. What was sent back was, congratulations to you and your groom. If I get that, maybe it's 80% complete, the rest of it, but, and I don't think that Adam and Larry were suggesting it was okay to do that. I don't want to suggest that at all. They're very reputable people and I respect them, but you know, the whole idea that it's better to be incomplete than complete in the sense in order to respond fast. Okay, so what do we do if we don't have all the information? I'm going to tell you right now. If you need more time, send your initial response and explain you're working on a detailed proposal. So that way we can be fast, we can be first, we can be among the first, or we can be more intentional. So now the buyer is going to get, their RFP is going to go out, or their emails are going to be sent. They're going to get back a bunch of generic stuff that all looks the same. They're going to get something from you that says, oh, thank you for your inquiry. I am working on a more detailed proposal. I'm reading through in more detail. It's going to take me another day or so, but I wanted to let you know we're very interested. That one's going to be a little, like, imagine a yellow highlighter on my list as a buyer, okay? So it's okay to use templates. That's going to help us reply quickly, but in the first paragraph, loop back what it is that you read from what it was the buyer shared, okay? The first sentence or two, state back what they told you. It's like what we do when we're meeting someone in a social situation and they tell us something about themselves. They say, oh, so you just moved to Atlanta, Douglas. How interesting. What's it like moving up from Florida? And use any specific words or phrasing included in that RFP, any words unique to their brand, their industry if it's a company, their culture if it's an organization, or anything they've mentioned if it's a social event. Now, to also demonstrate our attentiveness, that we're actually paying attention and we're actually a human. We are an actual, real, live salesperson, in-house, on-site salesperson, okay? Get their attention that way. Visit their website if they're a company, their social pages, comment on any observations that you made, include the logo of their company there if it's a high school band group or a nursing staffing group or a reunion for a school or university. And I'm trying to be diverse here because we have so many different types of salespeople on our call today. Certainly if they're a corporation, include that logo in there, okay? Now, number 4, round in our corner here. These last two are quick, but they're really super important. Keep the people parts at the heart of your hotel sales process. Now, many of you will have heard me say this before. Well, we live today in the 2020s here, the mid 2020s, in the era of silent selling. And it's a sad world. I first noticed this a few years back when I was doing a sales assessment for a hotel that had 5 salespeople. I was spending about 2 hours with each salesperson looking at their call flow. And about halfway through the day, I realized, you know, I haven't heard anyone talking in this office. And that was going back about 8 years, maybe. We don't talk enough anymore. We get inbound inquiries and then we send out electronic documentation. Pick up the phone, come on a Teams meeting, make those connections, all right? Now, some of you may disagree with me on this, but I'll be willing to debate you. I'm gonna say, first of all, always respond, especially to the hottest leads with a phone call, but really with every lead if you have time. This will humanize the sales process, even if you reach voicemail, and even if they never call you back. If you leave a properly intentional, well thought out voicemail, it is putting your personal brand. I leave a lot of voicemails when I'm following up with people. We're living in the same world as you. New clients that don't know me, don't know our KTN team, send me an inquiry. We need a sales training. We need a front office upselling. We need a reservation. We need a hospitality training. Send me your price. And the first thing I'll do is I'll call and I'll leave a voicemail because usually they don't pick up if they don't know you. And I will actually be so intentional. I would say 1 out of 5, 7 times I press that pound key and I redo my voicemail because I want it to represent Doug Kennedy and our team of 25 people here at KTN. Shows a personal commitment. Even if they get their voice to text now and they don't actually hear your voice, it shows that you care enough to follow up. You want their business. It will help you stand out from the competition. Now, when I teach this class in person, invariably someone raises their hand and says, Doug, if they wanted to talk, they would have called me, okay? Now, personally, I think, I don't want to sound mean, but I think that's an excuse for call reluctancy, call hesitation. And I'll usually push these people and they say, well, you know, once I called this person and they were mean. Yeah, because like 1 out of 20 guests at a hotel is mean. Did you come up through front desk? How many times were you yelled at, right? It's part of what you do. That's actually our numbers here are about 1 out of 20 times if we do outbound telemarketing, B2B, someone will be rude, okay? But that's part of the deal. But they're going to be more receptive to your call. This is responding to an inbound lead. Now, I also think you should make outbound prospecting phone calls, which is where you'll probably be more likely to have someone that's rude. But responding to an inbound lead, that's really not that hard, okay? But here's how to get a rude response. Do it this way, which by the way, I'm saying do not do this. And this happens all the time to me. You've heard my phone ringing now. My personal mobile here rings and I'll pick up. I'm usually not super happy, right? If it's somebody I don't know. And I have to try not to answer mean because I know a lot of them are spam, even though I have spam blockers. I'll say Doug Kennedy on myself, not the business line. I'm much more friendly if you call our business line, but Doug Kennedy, hi, or I'll say, yes. Hi, is this Doug Kennedy? How are you today? Is this a good time? That's a good way to annoy the person who answers. See the expression here? Okay. Now, years ago, you'd had to say, you know, and now clearly if you're calling a number that's a 9,000 or, you know, 57777 that looks like a business number, or they answer with a company greeting, that's different. But today, most people put their mobile number in their RFP and they're going to answer. So assume it's them, look at the difference in the response. Here's a sample dialogue. Hi, Mr. Kennedy, it's Chris from Brand X Hotel, responding to your inquiry. I just had a few quick questions that could help me reply in more detail. You have a quick second? And that expression will change very quick. Now, I don't think many people will be like, oh, yippee, a phone call from a hotel salesperson. Maybe they would have preferred to do it through email. But if you sound professional, you sound enthusiastic, shows commitment, and put your personalization on it. And by the end, they may sound a little skeptical at first, but they're like, by the way, thank you. Note to self, that guy wants my business. That person wants my business, okay? Now, they may not call back, okay? What I do is just what I said. I will place the phone call. However, if they don't respond, I then go ahead and proceed with what I have, okay? So I'll send the proposal with the information you have so far, or send the information for a proposal based on what you have so far and ask questions, or if you don't have enough information to send a thorough proposal, add thoughtful questions. How'd you hear about us? What else can you tell me about planning this event, this meeting, to help me assist you in it? May I ask how things went last time if it was a recurrent meeting? Are there any successes we can help duplicate or challenges we can help you overcome? Who else are you considering? May I just ask, who else are you looking at? Okay. What are going to be the main factors in your decision? Just so I can propose the best services, because we have rooms of all different price ranges. Can I ask what type of budget you're looking for? Okay. So when you ask the right questions, these will help you get more credibility. Okay. So now, a couple more things I'm going to go through real quick as we round the corner on our time. Using tech for touch communication skills to keep people at the heart of hotel sales. If you're a regular on KTN webcasts, you know I talk about this all the time, so please bear with me. A lot of you are first timers on this topic, so let me go back through. Online scheduling apps are a must-have in today's world. First of all, you can't forge a strong buyer-seller relationship through digital correspondence alone. Okay, so you want to talk to people, at least even better, meet with them on Teams or Zoom. The scheduling apps allow you to avoid the back and forth. Have you ever tried to set up a call time through email or text or in-app message? Oh, I'd love to talk with you about your wedding plans or your your college reunion plans, or your corporate meeting plans, or your association event plans. What's a good time? Oh, okay, well, I can meet you next Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday's actually not good. How about Wednesday? Okay, I can do Wednesday at 1 o'clock. No, Wednesday at 1 doesn't work. Can you do 10? No. Everybody gets frustrated. So always, if you're not already doing this, if you get no other takeaways from Doug Kennedy today, use Calendly or Booking. The Booking is actually free and integrated in your Microsoft Outlook today. Okay. Now I find it a little more wonky and a little harder if you're setting this up yourself without help of IT support. Use the free Calendly app, the free version. Now they will try to trick you. It's free for the first, it's free permanently, the basic version, but after 2 weeks you get an email saying your free version has expired. They try to get you to upgrade. But if you do not, if you just do not respond to that one, then you're going to go ahead and get the permanently free account. So what happens when you use Calendly? You will see the pull down menu when you set it up. By the way, I should talk about a couple more things here with Calendly. You're going to be able to set your own availability, and it will integrate with your Outlook calendar. So if you block times, you could either block times when you're not available or block times when you are available. So you could have a window of Tuesday morning and Thursday afternoon and Friday midday when you're available, or you can integrate it with your Outlook calendar and make sure to put any of your obligations in your Outlook calendar, and everything else will be open. You can also control how far out someone books a meeting. Okay, so I highly recommend it. I do like Calendly because it's easy, although our company is now using Booking. Now, when you set up your Calendly, always shoot for the online meeting. When you set it up, you can set your location. We have been a Zoom user for many years since the pandemic, but we're now using Teams. You can set that up, and so everybody who books with you will get the option to meet you on a meeting link. And you want to explain that when the booking comes in. You want to send back a note that says, thank you for requesting the meeting, Chris. There was a link included. Here it is again. Or if you prefer to speak by phone, let me know and I'll just call you. Okay. So try to get those online meetings. For one, you have eyeball contact again, just like the old days when people stop by in person. You can read their nonverbal cues when you explain how things are working. You can keep them focused. How many of you have been on a sales call, an audio call, and you hear typing in the background? You know you've lost the person and they're checking their email. So it's a great way to keep them engaged. I'm also a huge advocate for video email. I recommend Vidyard, which is permanently free, up to 10 videos at a time. So you can actually have the app on your phone or on your desktop, and you can shoot over a quick email. Imagine this at Hershey Hotel, or Mission Point, or the Hyatt that's with us today. Hello, it's Doug from Brand X Hotel. I'm standing here in the lobby today and just wanted to give you a quick shout out, show you how great the weather is looking. What can we do to secure your business? This is a great way to follow up. Here's what it looks like when you send it. The video is actually inserted into the email, and it tells you how long the video is, and there's a red play button. This is a great way to get back in front of people when they have ghosted you. Okay. And then our last, so use tech to touch, make more phone calls, send personalized responses, and then also use the Calendly or Booking app, get people to meet you on video meetings, and then also use the video email. These are how we keep people at the heart of sales process. I want to finish up today talking about number 5, what is the best cadence and methods of follow-up action steps. Okay, so if you want to annoy people, do the same thing every follow-up. Call, or email. Or if you believe this can all be automated, you could sit back and chill and let AI do your work. Just have a drip campaign that sends the same thing to everybody at the same cadence of follow-up. Or put your arms around your CRM, think of the context of each person. What is their timing? who else is involved in their decision, when is the event. This cannot be standardized, okay? So, but I always believe in 4 touches. The original follow-up to the reach out. So when it's an inbound lead, you're gonna follow up. If it's a prospecting lead, you're gonna make the connection. If they're a qualified lead, you're going to send something. So that's 1. And then typically about 3 days later, this might vary according to what you found out about their cycle of their planning. A few days to 1 week later, and then the final reach out. And at the end of the final reach out, retrace them in your CRM for next time, whether you lost it, whether you denied it due to availability, or somebody else booked before they came back at you, the final reach out, and then kick it back, okay? So 4 touches. Now, vary the medium. This is how to make your effort at follow-up feel persistent, but not pushy. And I always love this when we get the compliment to the key accounts, which I handle personally, or to our salespeople here at KTN. People say, you know, by the way, your team was really excellent. They were really persistent, but it never seemed pushy. That's what we want to do. People respect and they want to buy from the person that wants their business, okay? So make that phone call, send an email, shoot over a text for certain market segments, video, email, camera phone pics. If you have a beautiful resort area, if you're out in Telluride, shoot a quick camera phone pic and say, hey, thinking about you today. We finally got some snow this year. I hope you did. Personal handwritten notes. Yeah, stamps are going up, but personalization is fewer and fewer every year. I think I'm looking, I just thought I got one around here somewhere and I kept it. And it was a personal handwritten thank you note from someone when I spoke at their conference. And I was so shocked because it was actually handwriting. We don't see that very often anymore. So what's old is new again. And if you want to stand out, take that time, use handwritten notes. Even if your handwriting is messy like mine, it comes from the heart, okay? And so generic messaging, when you follow up, following up to see if you're ready to book, checking back to see if you made your decision. Instead, be grateful and humble. I'm just reaching out to see what we can do on our end. I'd be grateful for the opportunity to manage your group, your team, your party, your attendees. And if you don't have time, and you truly may not in today's world, especially bigger organizations, or if you're a one-person show, if everything is in your CRM, you don't have to do the follow-up yourself. You can assign that follow-up touches to a colleague, a sales coordinator, or if you're a really small property, maybe there's someone at the front desk that would like to cross-train, and you can have them do your follow-ups. Hey, Doug asked me to give you a quick follow-up. Just checking back. Doug asked me to send you a quick note to see what we can do on our end. We'd be grateful to host your business. And if you have a good CRM, everything is well documented, they're prepared. Well, we've reached our 1 o'clock time. These are always about 45 minutes of content, plus our welcome shout outs and 45, 50 minutes today. I hope you've enjoyed our 5 crucial things that every hotel group and event salesperson can do with every lead. As always, we're super grateful for Travel Outlook, the premier call center track hospitality software for vacation rental condo hotels, and Pulse, which is for reservation sales. All the things we talked about today, a CRM specific to reservation sales. We're super grateful for Matrix by M1 Intel, Raj and his team. We appreciate you joining us. We hope to have brought value. Please join us again for our next 2 topics. Why guests who are shopping online still call before they book, what to do about it, and then intentionally communicating the vibe of hospitality. And so feel free to join us on Spotify, YouTube, to our other podcasts. Our other webcasts are recorded are posted as podcast audio only on Spotify. And we also have at our YouTube interesting thing like Kate Martin's monthly video training tip. If you are interested in on-site training, if you're a company that has conferences or sales meetups, We also do private live webcam training, which I do if you have salespeople working in different locations. And of course, we do mystery shopping as well. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see all our loyal followers, but especially today, a lot of new participants. Thank you for carving out time to attend live if you could, and if not, we hope you enjoyed the recording. Thank you and have a great weekend.